If you've been here before, you may have noticed I sound a little bit different. That's because, well, I'm not an English man. I'm Nathan's wife, Rachel. And this is his channel. I'm usually behind the scenes helping edit these videos. And if you're new here, hi, welcome. This channel is all about poetry, but today we're going to do something a little bit different and take you on a special adventure to a rare books fair.
We're going to the Pasadena Convention Center to a rare books fair. We're going to go listen to a lecture on the art of alchemy. I bought the book of the same name from the Getty Institute in Los Angeles when we visited one time, and it's a...
Oh, that's that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it's a beautiful...
It is a beautiful book. I had no idea.
Book, filled with art from alchemists throughout the years, from Chinese alchemists to European alchemists to Arabic alchemists, because it was a subject which spanned, much of the world, and there goes into kind of a wide, expansive, scoped history of alchemy. So it's less drilled down in depth for specifics, but it's a great kind of broad survey using the art that alchemists themselves produced to explore what alchemy was and is.
So cool. I can't wait. I think we're also hoping they have a Valentine's Day theme today, so there are different packages that you could choose, and some of them came with like roses or a book bag. They have a hearts in literature, I believe, and arts. They have books bound in human skin, so that's also interesting, and a few other events, so we're going to check that out.
Just very quickly, the books bound in human skin is a lecture being given as well, based on a book that's about books throughout history that were bound in human skin.
Yes, and apologies because the road we're on is bumpy, so we're very shaky. But yeah, we're on our way. I'm also going to sneak off to the antique mall and check out some things, so I might show you a little of that, and we'll take you around the book fair, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, and I think just the one thing to add is I haven't been out this far for an event or to do something for quite a while, and I always look at lectures and readings and everything else as, partially just to learn and to sit in the knowledge that someone else has curated, but also as inspiration for poetry and more. And I love how the more subjects that you learn, the more that they can kind of find their ways into your poems and help expand your repertoire of language when you're writing. So that's exciting to me. Rachel, what are you most excited about doing today?
I'm excited about the book fair. I think that'll be really fun, and excited to, now that it's clicked what alchemy book that is, it makes it even more exciting. So I'm excited for that. The human skin one sounds creepy but interesting, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited to sneak off and look at some antiques because that's more my jam. But yeah, good to get out of the house. We've been super busy in life lately in this new year, so it'll be nice to get out of town and do something fun. So I think I'll show you, because it's such a beautiful day. It's been raining a lot here in Los Angeles, and we're supposed to get rain all next week. Mud all on the right. It's been a bit of a mudslide. Oh my god. This is bad. But this is a nice day full of sunshine. Yeah, it's a beautiful day out. We're passing Pepperdine University at the moment, which is pretty cool.
Obviously, because it's been raining so much this year, it rained a lot last year as well. So the early part of this year, we've had a lot of rain, and it's made the canyons and everything else, which we've spent so much time seeing it as this kind of dry and brittle and almost dying canyons, to this like pregnant green that's rolling all over the hills, and it looks amazing. I just wanted to add as well that I thought was funny, the guy that's giving the lecture, David, I don't remember his surname, but I was watching one that he was giving at the Getty Institute that was on YouTube, which we can link to.
There we go.
And he said that he's from New York, and you know, he was saying, you know, New Yorkers tend to be more pragmatically minded than maybe Californians. And when he told his old colleagues and friends that he was going to study the art of alchemy, they said to him, "You've been in California too long, and we need you back." And
Who does that sound like?
I relate to that feeling from being English and trying not to get
this hippie
too far
definitely
away
been
with
in LA too long.
the hippie fairies. Yeah, exactly. So I blame you. It's all your influence.
I don't know.
California girl.
But yeah, we're gonna have fun today, and hopefully we can. We don't know what it's like in terms of filming, so I might have to be a bit covert and do some voiceovers later. All right, bye.
Bye. Last word.
See you in a minute. Bye.
See you soon. Yeah.
So we just got here to Pasadena, and we're just gonna make our way inside and grab a seat, hopefully for the talk for Dark Archives.
Most people have only kind of heard about this thing in a very vague way until 2014. Now, it's kind of hard for me to believe at this point that that's 10 years ago. But to me, that is a very recent phenomenon, especially considering that these books have been on their shelves for, a couple, 150, 200 years. And we've confirmed 18, but 13 of those have been proven to be something else. So, yes, that's a lot of human skin books, but also of the universe of it, there's a lot that weren't.
Nathan said, "Look, Rachel, it's us." Nothing. Rachel voiceover here. So we took some time to explore the rare book fair. Nathan even bought himself a rare book on alchemy before deciding we'd take a quick break by heading to the Pasadena Antique Mart. Just so happens this was less than a minute walk away from the convention center, which was super convenient for us and full of all sorts of treasures. I ended up buying a dress with yellow flowers on it. After that, we headed to Sushi at Sushi Ga for lunch, which was absolutely delicious, as you'll see. Wait, say that one more time.
That was the best sushi I think we've had.
It was really good.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah. Highly recommended. They were super nice. The food was really good.
And they were talking about poetry.
And they were talking about poetry.
The waiter had written a poem.
Yeah.
I don't want to out him.
How do people do this in public, by the way?
They just
I feel awkward.
look like twats. Bought a book about alchemy. I think it's called The Mirror of Alchemy, but I'm pretty sure there's a book from maybe the 1500s of the same title, but it's not that book.
Wow.
Which I knew it wasn't. It talks about alchemy, and I saw there was some of the poetry that the alchemists would write in the book. I know one of the reasons why the alchemists would write things in poetry was a mnemonic reason, because of it's easier to remember if you're working with materials in your lab or your underground lair to remember a poem than it is to remember prose, because poetry was originally an oral tradition for a reason. So yeah, I think it's for mnemonic devices so that you can remember the process of what it is that you need to do by reciting the poem, either in your head or maybe out loud. Maybe the alchemists were just chanting poems at themselves all day. So that's the dream.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
After feeling like vlogging newbies and morons, we headed back inside to the Rare Books Fair, where we explored some spooky and interesting books some more before heading to our second talk of the day with David Brafman for Art of Alchemy.
Hey guys, take the dog. He likes being, he gets pissed off. He's my boss. Hey, so I'm David Brafman. I'm the Rare Books Curator at the Getty Research Institute, which is the only Rare Books Curator in the whole Getty Center, so I get a lot of sleep. This book came out of an exhibition in 2017-2018, and I want to change my name at the Getty to Master Dragon Eyebrow, as my friends know, and we go straight to middle-aged alchemy.
We just got out of the book fair. What did you think, Nathan? Did you have fun today?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the first presentation, which was Megan Rosenbloom.
Rosenbloom, yeah.
And then she was speaking about not just the history about books bound in human skin, but the history of books that we thought throughout history may have been bound in human skin. And she went even into like, you know, chemical testing of books to see if they were authentically made out of human skin or not. And you know, there was one really interesting detail she was talking about when they were trying to see like what had been on book covers by like I don't know, something scientific, something chemical, using chemistry, something like that, but they found things like mouse claw like DNA.
I think they found like mice droppings.
Mice droppings.
And
okay.
like
the
chickpeas, carrots, potatoes,
and
corn,
a bit of the Black Plague, which was inert. That's probably not the right word, but not something that you could be infected with, but found like an indexical trace,
like traces of it.
And one of the really interesting things about her talk was talking about the process of making, well, her book being made specifically, and how there were different book binders and cover designers that made all these different versions for her book, and how different the book looked when it had been translated into other languages. Like one was Russian, one was French, I think. I can't remember what the other language she spoke about. Was it Polish?
Polish.
And Polish, and how, you know, she was speaking about like the genesis of the book itself, and made very clear, even though one of the covers had used animal bone, that she did not want any part of her book to be made out of human skin.
Yeah, or any human parts, no hair, no teeth.
Parts whatsoever. So I did ask her a question in the Q&A.
Yeah, you did.
I wanted to know whether they could tell which parts of the human body that had which parts of the skin from the human body they might have used for the books, and where. And she gave two of her answers I found extremely interesting. One, she was like, we've not found a book yet that has clearly like nipple skin on it.
No, she said the opposite.
Did she?
Yeah, she said.
Oh, right, you tell the story.
She
then.
said that they're. But there's like almost like there's rumors of these books that exist that claim to have these other parts that would be difficult to fake, but they haven't been verified in person.
Okay.
And that like she's seen books that she'd like look at the size and be like, that must be fake because the book size is so large that the like logistical how much skin from a human body, what
people?
part, and it's, you know, all one piece.
Is
and
it
then
rump?
Are they looking for, she was mentioning looking for like the seam, to see if there were two different parts put together. So yeah, she was talking about that, but that they don't really know, they can't really tell, but you can kind of make some informed, educated guesses about what parts of the body it would be from. But a bit gory
It was
to think about.
Quite morose, morbid, probably the word.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting to hear the speaker, and
It was so cool.
Yeah.
It made me want to buy her book, and we already have The Art of Alchemy, so that was also really interesting, which is another really beautiful book too. We bought it while we were at the Getty. I got it Nathan had bought it for himself, and I didn't know it. And I also bought it for Nathan as a present. So then we ended up having 2 copies, but unfortunately we didn't bring either copy with us today to get signed. So that was a bit of a bummer, but he had his dog up on stage, which was pretty cool too.
David Brafman.
Yeah, David Brafman. Yeah.
He was funny. He had a good sense of humor.
Very New Yorker as well.
It was the book. The way that's difficult to give a 45-minute presentation, because I've read the book already, is that because it spans thousands of years of alchemical history across various, I think we said it earlier, but like there's Islamic alchemy, there's alchemy that started in Egypt with the first, or the earliest recorded alchemist that we have from Egypt is Zosimos of Panopolis, all the way through the Islamic world. There was Chinese or Taoist alchemy, there was Hindu alchemy, and then there was like European alchemy that went all the way until the Enlightenment period. Although alchemy still exists today, they're still practicing alchemists, like Brian Cotnor is one of them. But as he said in the presentation, alchemy as we knew it ended in the Enlightenment. So I think he worded it well and carefully to not pretend that just because chemistry had emerged, because a lot of people see alchemy purely as proto-chemistry, as in it just led to chemistry and that was it. There's a lot more to it than that. But yeah, there's still people out there looking for the Philosopher's Stone, whatever that may or may not be.
Which he said was, spoiler alert, Mercury. Yeah.
Which I think is a very cynical view of what the Philosopher's Stone might be. As he said in the presentation, he ignored Jung's work throughout his book. One, there's been so much written about that. 2, there's a criticism, which I think is a fairly good criticism, that Jung's work is ahistorical or revisionist, so he's projecting into alchemy like what maybe it wasn't. So his idea is that the alchemical process is reflective of the psyche, and what the alchemists were really doing had nothing actually to do with material, even though there were material changes happening, that it was purely a process playing out in the psyche of transformation. Now, there are alchemists that, as he spoke about in the lecture, had spiritual and philosophical tinges, ties, and whatever else that I really think were looking for the spiritual component of changing matter, and I think that's pretty obvious in a lot of their writings. But there were others that were just trying to make fake gold and money and profit off the craze, but you can get that in anything. And then others were artisans, making pigmentation for art, making perfumes, making
skincare products,
being like pharmacists, making drugs and medicines and whatever else. So there's a lot to it.
I also wanted to talk a little bit about like what else we did while we were there before we lose all the light, because it's gonna get dark here in a second.
Poetic.
So, well, you walk in, right? We're in a big, we were in a big convention center, and there are all these different rare book stalls. Most of them very far outside of our budget.
Yeah.
We saw books bound with like brass and silver books. One that we saw listed for about $7,500 that we were ogling and oogling, and I'll put a shot of it here if I have it. And then came back maybe an hour or two later, and someone had bought it. We also saw books.
The one with the engraved horse out of
yeah.
brass?
No, that one was silver.
Silver, that was it.
And all the way up to, we saw books priced up to like $200,000.
Yeah.
First editions of, I don't think I filmed this, but like Catcher in the Rye for $55,000. So insane. So if you're looking for rare books and you want to buy some and you've got the budget for it, head over next year, because I'm sure this will come out after the book fair has already ended. They also have them in London and all over the world, but really, really interesting, and it was cool that they put on all those talks.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, I had a few like smaller conversations with people. Like I asked one of the booksellers, and this is something I was interested in, like, and he said, I started out as a book collector and then I became a bookseller, and I feel like that's probably, without knowing, I'm presuming that like that's true of many different of these sellers, that like you love books and you love the feel of them and you love reading, but I think at some point you realize, or people realize, like, well, these books aren't mine, they're just currently in my possession, and books are there to be read and cherished and also shared and moved on, and maybe it's moved on in your lifetime. If not, it has to move on beyond you anyway. So the seller I was talking to said that he used to feel like a loss when he would buy a book and then pass it on, but now he no longer feels that way. So I think he got used to the fact that this temporary sort of ownership, it kind of opened my mind more, as someone that loves writing and at some point will be putting some form of books out. I love seeing that again, to think about the alchemy and to think about being dynamic and bringing as much in as possible. I think having a cover done with such care and artistry is just absolutely amazing for a book.
Yeah. I mean, people say don't judge a book by its cover, right? But it's interesting what a change in cover how that can make you feel about the contents of the book on the inside, and all the different ways to imagine a book. I'll put up some of the things on the screen, especially because we're in the darkness now, of all her different book covers that she showed, and maybe some other fun books that we saw there today. But yeah, that was interesting, and even just apart from the book covers, obviously the contents of all these books, it's really amazing, and so it was really special. And then you have a final thought before my hand falls off and we're totally immersed in darkness.
I want to speak to a synchronicity moment. I've been studying alchemy a lot recently, obviously, as I said. And I saw this book. I can't fully remember the title off the top of my head, but we'll flash it up. But the book title had magic in it. I think Indian magic.
As a cultist.
And it was like an occult book written by an American. And I picked it up, and it was a thick tome. I think it was made out of 2 books, and it was big, thick. And I opened a page at random, and the page I landed on was the first page of the chapter for alchemy. And it's been something I've been studying a lot recently, and I'm, always looking for clues from life to see if I'm on the right path. And that kind of gave me an indication that of all the different topics that it was talking about, obviously alchemy being one of them, I opened directly to that page instantly as soon as I picked it up. And just to define synchronicity in the Carl Jung's Jungian sense, it's when an inner and an outer circumstance converge, so the inner circumstance being the desire to learn a lot more about alchemy, and the outer circumstance being like, that book sounds kind of interesting, and opening it and it lands directly on the beginning of the alchemy chapter. So I know I have to read that at some point, and that is the end of my thought.
Awesome. But let us know if you like this new style of video, going along with us for the day and seeing things. There's so much to do in Los Angeles in terms of poetry and book exploration, so this was really fun for us, so we hope that you had fun too, watching and coming along with us for the day. I'm gonna throw a like and subscribe for Nathan and for us if as we're getting lost in LA. Who knows if we'll ever get home.
Yeah, it's quite distracting, isn't it?
Yeah, really distracting. But like and subscribe if you liked it, and let us know in the comments if you would go to something like this in the future. I think this would be something that I'd be interested in going back again one year.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm ever loaded, I'm definitely going there so I can buy some pretty books. But
yeah, I'm saving up for next time, and I'm going to buy the 200 grand books. I think that's a really good investment.
I don't know.
Thank you for watching. It's been fun. It's been a good day.
It's been a great day. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Goodbyes.
Thanks for watching. Don't judge the weird lighting and bumpiness and sound and all of those things. But bye.
Sending love.